Hi, and welcome back to Glassboxed, writing automated Cucumber tests. Today we're going to have a look at writing test suites. We will look at what test suites are, how to write test suites, and why you would need to write test suites. So first things first, what is a test suite? Well, when you have, say, multiple tests, so in this case, due to the nature of a Cucumber framework, you have what we call our feature files. So if you have, say, multiple feature files, each feature file doing a different thing, and you want to be able to run these feature files individually, that's fine. You just right click on the feature file and run it, and it's as simple as that. But what if you need to run multiple feature files at the same time through, say, just a single click? How would you do it then? Well, the mechanics you would use to do such a thing are called test suites. Another way to think of a test suite is to define it as a means of running multiple tests at the same time, preferably tests which are categorized in some kind of common group. So that's what test suites are. So what we will do now is actually really quickly just go through some of the features that I've written and the steps, just to kind of demonstrate what the tests are, so that we have a little bit more backbone when we actually start writing a suite for the test. So the first thing is, I've got 3 different feature files. The first feature file I have is a feature file that is used to test an application feature, and all it is designed to do is to just open an application window, click on some link, and then make sure some window opens. For the server feature, exactly the same thing, but this time I'm just opening a window on a server, and the same thing for the WebDriver. Now if we have a look at the steps for these 3 features, we only have 3 steps, in that the first step just takes in a parameter of the type of application we're trying to test on. So if we have a look at the WebDriver, we're passing in WebDriver here. If we have a look at the server, we're passing in server, and same thing for the application. The second step, the when step, is I click on some link, and the final step, the then step, is just checking to make sure that a new window is open. So you've probably guessed by now that there's actually no code that's happening, because the focus of this video is just to show how we write test suites. It's not to actually open an application or to actually open a server. That's going way beyond what I'm trying to kind of achieve in this particular video. So if we just take one as an example and just run it. So if I just run this really quickly. So all that's happened is it's just said that it's tried to open a window for WebDriver, clicked on a link, and window should open. That's it. And the same output is expected for the other ones. So if I just run the application, for instance, then we get the same thing. We see an application printed as part of the first step, and the same thing for the link, and a new window opens lines. So naturally, if we now have a look at the runner class, and say we just wanted to run the runner class, what happens is the runner class runs all features. So it runs one for the application, one for the server, and one for the WebDriver, because our features as mapped in the runner class does that. It's looking for every feature. So in a way, our runner class is in fact a test suite. It's a catch-all test suite. It is used to run every single feature in our application. So you can treat it as a high-level catch-all test suite, if you like. But what if you want to run, say, specific ones and specific ones only, or you want to run a number of tests and exclude others? How can you do that? Well, the way to do it is, the first thing you need to do is you need to identify what kind of test your feature test is, and give it some kind of category or something to identify it by. And luckily, Cucumber provides us with what are called tags, which allows us to tag a scenario with some kind of descriptive term. So let's just say in our application we want to give this particular scenario the tag of application. So if I press Ctrl+Shift+F for quick format, it'll do it for me. So here I've just said that this scenario has a tag, and we identify tag using the @ symbol, and I've given the name application to this tag. So something to note: when we give tags, we can give whatever name we want. There are very few names which are already used by application which we are not allowed to use, but otherwise we're completely open to define tags however you wish. So I've said for this particular application scenario, I will use a tag called the application tag. Moving on to the server feature, I'm going to give this feature file a tag as well, and I'm going to give it the tag server. And I'm going to do the same thing for the WebDriver, but this time I'm going to give it the tag WebDriver. Right. So now we have a different tag for each of our feature files. So we are now one step closer to being able to run these feature files in an isolated manner, if we like, because we've given this tag. So now that we've given a tag, we can now use this tag. We can pull for this information in our runner class. And the way we do this is by providing the tags options under the cucumber.options block. And the way we do it is like this. So we're going to create a new option called tags, and we're going to give it a parameter inside curly braces, and in this parameter you say the name of the tag you want to run against. So I want to run my application test, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to copy this tag into the tags option under my cucumber option, and you may see a red line. That's because we need to put a right. So now if we run the test, so the last time we ran the test, it ran all three of our feature files. This time, however, it will look for the specific tag, and it will try to only run any feature files which have this particular tag, or to be more specific, it will look for any scenarios in any feature file which has this tag. So now if we try and run this, we have only run the one feature file, just our application feature. We automatically excluded the other two. So what if we want to say run two different features? How can we do that? Well, this is the wrong approach. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy in this server tag in here. Now this is actually not the way to do it, but there's a reason why I'm going through this logic first. I'll explain why in a bit. So let's run this and see what happens. Right, so our test has failed, and the reason it's failed is that none of the features at source, test, resource match the filters application and server. Now you might be thinking, why? We have two different features. This should have picked up. Well, the reason it didn't pick up is because here what we're actually saying is we are looking for a feature which has both application and server, not application or server. So another way to think of it is what we're actually doing in that line is something along the lines of this: application or server, or in more plain English, this is what we're doing: application or server. What we actually want to do is say pick up any of our feature files where the feature file has application and application only, and then pick up again more feature files which have server and server only. And the way we do this is like so, and that's it. We need to pass in any singular annotations we want in the same quotation. So now if we run this, we should in theory pick up our application feature file because it has the application tag, pick up our server feature file because it has a server tag, but ignore the WebDriver feature file because this particular tag was not included in our tags option. So now let's run this and see what happens. And there you go. So if we have a quick look, it's picked up the application feature and it's picked up the server feature. So this is effectively how you build test suites using Cucumber's tags option. It's not, well, perhaps some might not see it as a very elegant manner, because it does create a little bit of overhead in that you need to add tags to feature files. You need to know what the tags are. You need to have some kind of in-house rules to make sure everyone knows what the name of the tags are. You need to make sure that you maintain the tags in your runner class and various other things. But this is how you would do it. Now, another thing is that, remember, we aren't actually restricted to a single runner class. You can have multiple test runner classes if you like. For instance, I'm just going to copy this really quickly, and I'm just going to call this the web runner test. Right. So if I now go in there, I'm just gonna replace this with WebDriver, and I'm gonna run this just to make sure that it picks up my WebDriver feature, and it has. It's only picked up the one feature. So now I effectively have two runner classes, one which runs all features which have application or server as annotations, and I have a second runner class which has only the WebDriver annotation. So if I want to run both, I can quite simply just right click on the project, go run as, and just run Maven test. And as you can see, it's actually picked up both. So the first test class it picked up was the runner test, and it ran the first application feature and then the server feature, and then the second web runner test class was picked up where it ran the WebDriver feature. And that's how you can write multiple runner classes to act as your base suit classes, and then just run your runner class as a means of running multiple feature files at the same time. So this is how we can use Cucumber to run multiple feature files at the same time using a test runner class, whilst also being able to isolate different runner classes to run different type of feature files all in one package. So this is my take on how you can use some clever tricks that Cucumber provides us with to be able to run and create test suites using Cucumber. And that's it for this video, folks. If you enjoy my video and find it brings some new knowledge or insight into writing Cucumber tests, then please subscribe and rate. If you have any questions or video suggestions, then please leave a comment below. Many thanks for watching. Until next time, ciao!